All right. let's get back into it with our super OP equipment. We were just singing Numa Numa. Don't worry about it. Maya he, Maya who, Maya ha, Maya ha ha. One thing I was gonna mention before we in that cutscene, but I forgot, was I'm really impressed with the depth of the characters in this game. I feel like it's such a big improvement over some of the latest Final Fantasy games. Something that they were really good with back in the day, and then they kind of lost their way with like Final Fantasy 11 through 14 or 11 through 15, is that characters were so one note. They have this one quality and it's like that's their thing, and then either, you know, like for example, maybe Lightning is like super tough soldier, and she's just that throughout the entire game, and then the big character development is that, oh, she opens up, you know? So it's always like this one note. They have character development, but it's always like this one thing. It's so everyone is simplified down to this like one trait that they have. So like Hope is afraid and scared, and then in the end I don't even remember because I haven't played 13 in a while, so this isn't a spoiler, but maybe he's super afraid and scared at the beginning of the game, and then at some point he learns to be have confidence, right? So like there is character development, but it's so one note, and it's almost like they didn't trust us to really look into the characters deeper. So they just have this one trait so that we can follow along. Like, okay, idiots. Since you don't want to actually like take the time to understand the characters, we're just going to make every character one specific trait and then change that one trait, and then you can be like, wow, it was such a good character. But back in the day, characters were more than just this one trait, you know? You had characters really felt like people, and they had different interactions with different characters and different emotions, and character development was more than just changing that one trait. And I really feel it with this game. You know, there's so many different things going on with Clive. It's not just like Stranger of Paradise is such a great example. Stranger of Paradise is like the absolute perfect example of how not to make a character. Like Jack is so like, I have to defeat chaos, and then in the end he defeats chaos, and it's like that was the whole character, right? But here there's all these different nuances with the character. It's like, yes, he wants revenge for his brother, and that's like the big thing. But there's these other things. There's this love interest. There's this, oh, well, Jill feels the same way I do, and that's affecting me as a person. And there's these thoughts that he has of ending everything because of what's happened to him. And there's the fact that maybe he killed his trainer, and there's the fact of what happened with his father. And he's also kind of has this tough outer shell because of his 13 years of enslavement, but it's slowly being broken away by Sid and all the other characters at the hideout. There's all these different layers that are happening to him. It's not just he is the icon of revenge, you know. Jack was the icon of defeating chaos, and in the end he defeated chaos. Here it's like he's not just the icon of revenge. There's many different things that unravel into Clive, you know? And that's just really great to see. It's really great to see that we don't have, oh, Clive is revenge, and Jill is compassion, and Sid is whatever, you know, like they all just have like this one specific trait we're supposed to see them as. And they could have easily done that with this game too, given that each character has a dominant summon, right? So like they could have gone that route. They could have said like, oh, Jill is really cold because she's Shiva, and in the end she learns to not be so cold. And Clive is all about revenge because he's Ifrit and he's really fiery and wants revenge, and then in the end he learns to not be so fiery. And Sid is Ramu because he's really impatient. He makes decisions too fast because he's lightning quick like Ramu, but then in the end he learns to make plans. Like, they could have easily done that. They could have easily just said, like, each character is a reflection of their summon and just made them that one trait. And I'm so glad they didn't do that, because that would have been an easy way to make it digestible by every person that ever plays the game. And that's the shortcut that a lot of games take nowadays, where they're like, oh, just have every character be this one specific thing, and then everyone can follow along and they understand exactly what's going on. But they trusted us with these characters. I feel like Square Enix is trusting the fan base to approach these characters as if they're humans and see them for all their different traits. You know, and that's one of the worst things, is when you play a game and you feel like the creators of the game didn't trust you with their characters. They didn't trust us to understand anything more about Jack than he has to defeat Chaos. They were like, if we make him any more complicated, you guys aren't going to get it. So let's just make him say Chaos in every single sentence, just to beat it into you that this is what he's about, you know? Like, we don't trust you to get it any other way. So we're just going to have him say Chaos every 5 seconds so that you stupid idiots can understand where we're going with this. You know what I mean? And you just feel, like, insulted by the game. You feel insulted by the character design. You're like, wow, you really didn't think we would get that? Right? So, what a great change that this game is from that.
Anything take your fancy?
Hey, look, all your stuff is useless now.
Come back soon now.
Why even have this shop here? I mean, I guess maybe for the items, but... I mean, that's the thing with Stranger of Paradise that's such a shame. It was goofy and memey, but then it took itself super seriously. If it had stayed goofy and memey throughout the whole thing, it would have been like, oh, okay, this is just, you know, a funny side game. But by the end of it, it takes itself incredibly serious. So then you're like, well, what the heck were we watching at the beginning of the game, you know?
You? Those are Elwyn's. By the flames. You're his firstborn. Clive Rosfield.
You're mistaken.
Wow. You really...
Oh, you can't fool me, my lord. You're the very image of your father. And that would be true even if you weren't wearing his clothes. The self-same garments Hannah was keeping for you, if I'm not mistaken. She always
You won't
swore
notice.
that she would never part with them until the day Elwyn's sons returned. And now that day has come. Why, you'll be able to take your bearers back as well.
Yikes.
My bearers. Forgive me, Master Mayor. I was a child when last I came to Eastpool. I didn't recognize you.
Oh, I'd be surprised if you recognized anything at all. Much has changed since Rosaria fell to the Empire. Not least for the bearers, who once served her noble families. When the Ironbloods sacked Rosalith 13 years back, many who lost their masters fled here in search of sanctuary.
And never returned.
Aye. The plan was to send them home once we'd won back the capital. But then the Imperials arrived. Rosaria became a province of Sanbreque. The duchy was dissolved, and they no longer had any hope.
So that answers our question about what happened to Rosaria specifically.
Back in your father's day, any bearer who lost their master became a ward of the duchy. We'd hand them over to the sheriffs, and they'd be assigned a new position. But when we saw how the Empire treated their branded, we knew that wasn't an option. So they've been here ever since.
Where they're treated even
I want
worse.
to give them to me.
They're yours by right, Lord Rosfield. bequeathed you by your late father. And they'd be better off serving you than hiding here. Indeed, many of them used to serve your house, and still considered the Rosfields their masters.
I'm no one's master. Not anymore. They wouldn't be safe with me.
I understand. You'll forgive an old man his fanciful notions. Been daydreaming for too long.
Nah, ads are way worse lately.
I would ask a favor of you.
Way worse.
A small mercy.
If it is within my power.
One of the bearers is an elderly fellow who still swears absolute loyalty to Archduke Elwyn. I don't ask that you take him into your service, only that you meet with him. Let him see that Elwyn's son still lives, and that he's as fine a man as his father ever was.
It would be my honor.
Thank you, my lord. He sits by the well most days, watching the people go about their business. If you could show him your face, I would be most grateful.
Y'all's going Fennekins. We just got the new clothes like 2 seconds ago.
As fine a man.
Dracula drip.
You're not so very different, you know. Especially dressed like that. Come on, let's go and meet that bearer.
Yeah, you can always sub with Twitch Prime. It's free, as long as you have Amazon Prime. But you have to remember to update it every month. He looks like a Belmont, yeah. He does. Hey, how's it going, Daniel? Good to see you, man.
He's not here.
I'm sorry. I know it's like an RPG thing. And I'm not saying the game is bad because of this, but it continuously cracks me up when the characters are like, "Go talk to this guy. He should know that you're here." And then you walk literally 2 steps and they're like, "Where is he?" Like the guy, you could ask the guy, you could still see the guy. You could be like, "Hey, where is he?" Like, we're literally 2 steps away.
Well, I can't leave without meeting him. I've let the mayor down once already. It would be cruel to disappoint him again.
All right, let's ask around.
Just ask the mayor. He's right there. We can see the. We can see him. He's right there. Just go ask him. Hey, he's not there.
He wasn't by the well. Strange. He's always by the well.
So goofy.
Good day, milady. What can I do for you?
I'm looking for a bearer.
What can I do for
an
you?
elderly fellow who used to serve the Rosfields. Have you seen him?
Ah, that old loon. No sign of him today. Funny, he's usually down by the well at this hour.
Down by the well? We can literally see the well.
Cooking up his fantasy
How big do
feasts.
these people think this town is?
Oh, he worked in the kitchens at Rosalith Castle back in the day. Still thinks he's there now. You'd often hear the poor fool chatting away to the Archduke. Living in a dream he is. But better there than here, I suppose. Can't imagine the Viceroy stopping to trade tales with a bearer. Can you?
No.
Anyway, you'll be round here somewhere. Doubt he has the path to stray too far.
These people are so
We'll
lazy.
keep looking.
Have you checked down by the well? That one? This one right here.
Well now, unfamiliar faces. What brings you to Eastpool, travelers?
We're looking for an elderly bearer. You wouldn't happen to have seen him, would you?
Ah, you mean the old boy who always waits by the well?
Yes, that's him.
What business do you have with him, if you don't mind me asking? You're not from the capital too, are you?
We're
We
gonna
are.
bring him in.
Anyway,
Well, then it's a pleasure to meet a fellow Rosalithian. I was born and raised down Market Street, and never would have left if Archduke Elwyn had survived the fire. It wasn't the same when the Duchess took over, though. All the beatings, the evictions, the levies going up and up and up, even as the blight took half the harvest.
Not the taxes.
Oh, listen to me, telling you what you already know. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I can't help you with your bearer either, though I doubt he'll have gone far. He comes here every day, almost as if he's waiting for something.
we'll keep asking around then. Thank you.
Oh, hold on a mo. Patrick the Chocobo Keeper might know where your bearer is. He's taken the old boy under his wing, so to speak. You should go and have a word with him. He'll be in the stables.
Patrick the Chocobo Keeper. Thank you. We will.
Texas. How's it going, Zach?
For making you do all this in my stead.
It can't be helped if we're to keep up the pretense. Come on, let's head for the stables.
I like it, Clive. We've heard enough of your chatter. Let someone else take the reins. Good old Patrick. Excellent to track your quest.
Bloody hell's he got to?
Excellent to have you here.
Excuse me, but is something the matter?
It's this bearer I've been minding. I take my eyes off him for 1 minute and he disappears. He's not in his usual spot by the well, nor anywhere else in the village.
You must be Patrick.
I am, but
And this bearer you're looking for, he's an elderly man who used to work in the Rosalith Castle kitchens, yes?
that's the fella. How do you know all this? I've never seen you in Eastpool before, but you seem to know the place better than I do myself.
So what had happened was... Did you check inside the well?
Ah, so that's how it is. Well then, if you're acting under orders of the mayor, you're on about to help me find him. He's been losing what little sense he had left of late, saying the sheriffs are coming to collect him and that he needs to go back to the castle. I was supposed to watch over him, keep him out of trouble. But if he's walked out on us, there's not a lot I can do.
Understood. You keep searching here, we'll look for him outside.
Thank you. I'm in your debt.
He got eaten by lobsters, didn't he?
I hope he hasn't wandered into trouble.
Let's just concentrate on finding him.
Oh my god, what if he's like right here? Please don't tell me he's like right here.
Still no sign.
We've walked 2 feet, Clive. I'm telling you, everyone thinks the world is like 10 times bigger than it is. He's gonna be right here where the dragon is, where the dragon spawns. I mean, at least this is behind this huge mountain, so like no one could see him, but like, bro. I knew this was gonna be a quest of some kind.
Look, there's someone over there.
It might be him. We should hurry.
No one's wearing glasses.
Company.
Oh,
We can't lead them to the old man. They need to die.
Agreed.
wow. Bugs.
Finished!
Oh, and wolves. Now we're getting interesting.
Stay down!
Are you all right, my friend? Come on. Let's go home.
Your Grace, you came for me. I waited for you so long, but you finally came.
I'm not who you think.
Clive.
Yes. Pray forgive my long delay.
It's nothing, Your Grace. I prayed to the Founder that you would come, and at long last, he answered. Will we be returning to the castle, then? There is still a place for me in the kitchens?
No, my friend. We will not be returning to the castle, not yet. I'm on a very important expedition, one which may take some time. Could you wait for me in Eastpool until my journey is complete? I will come back for you then. I promise.
Of course, Your Grace. For you, I would gladly wait until my dying day.
I think you will be. Senile old man. Yeah, kind of cool though. It again, they're really setting up Clive a lot. Like, it's not just let's have Clive be nice to show that he's nice, but like they're setting him up in all these different scenarios where he needs to be nice in different ways to different types of people. And we get to see a lot of his character through that. We get to see, and to be fair, at first he was like, I'm not putting on this charade. But then when Jill looked at him, he was like, all right. But still, yeah, I mean, he's not just nice. He is nice to all facets of people. And again, they alluded to this with the Apple guy back when he was a kid. But we're really seeing it now in action.
Thank you, both of you. You've been most kind. The memory of serving the late Archduke was as one light in the darkness, and now that light burns a little more brightly. It's nothing but a fantasy, of course, but it's better than the truth of the matter. A damn sight better.
It's not as much he needs to learn from this, it's that we need to learn from this. We're it's just the general hero trope of he was born into royalty, but he sees the common man's plight, and that's why he's the hero. They're setting him up as the hero because he is the hero. We're playing as him. Doesn't necessarily need to be paid off later. It's just the game is selling him to us as the hero.
The blight is on our doorstep. Our harvests are failing.
We have to like the
People are
hero, or
leaving
else we don't want
droves.
to play as him.
If it weren't for Lady Hannah selling half her worldly goods to provide for the few of us who stayed behind, we would long since have starved. We want to keep the bearers safe here, we really do. But unless a miracle happens, we won't be able to spare a crust of bread to share between them soon enough.
Yeah, and well, they've really sold it to me because of, like I said before, it's not like he was a jerk and then he went through 13 years of enslavement and then he became nice because he realized how bad it was. Like, they showed at the beginning that he always had that in him, So, but then we have this great contrast of Ifrit, who is like the icon of rage. So there's this fight inside of Clive. He's a good guy, and he's always been a good guy, and he's always been loving and caring for those that are less fortunate than him. But then there's this other force inside of him that is pure rage. So there's this great, like, clash within him that needs to have some kind of resolution later in the game. Also, the game is continuously showing us like the state of the world and how bad it's gotten for the enslaved. And so like that's part of it too, that this whole thing wanted to show us like all of the injustice that's going on, whether it be friends turning on friends or old people still wishing that the king would come back. Like all these things are setting up all of the injustice in the world so that we have a reason to fight.
Is it really that bad?
So bad, I even petitioned the Imperial garrison to take them. But when they found out where they'd come from, they damn near spat in our faces. Ducal dogs, they called them. Enemies of the Empire.
I know a man named Sid, who would gladly give a home to any bearer in need of one. Leave this with me. As soon as I return from Phoenix Gate, I'll speak with him.
Thank you, my lord. Will you be passing through Eastpool on your way back? I should very much like to speak with you again, if you have the time, regarding the future of the village, and what might be done for Lady Hannah, after all she's done for us.
Yes, of course. I'll be back anon.
Fare you well, my lord, my lady. I wish you.
Some people didn't like the story because Clive stops being the revenge guy. And they just don't understand the general story they're trying to tell, I guess. They should go play Strangers of Paradise. They'd love Stranger of Paradise. Let's go on Lesio. Will this game be like Final Fantasy XIV MMO? No. It couldn't be any further from an MMO. It's the exact opposite of an MMO. It's a single-player action game.
I didn't realize they were this close.
No wonder their crops are failing. The blight is leaching the ether from the soil. And when the last drop is drained, their fields will turn to this. No plants, no animals, no life.
And no monsters. I suppose that's one small mercy.
Again, I feel like they had a hard time creating the world a bit. It started with, like, everyone in the town's acting like the town is way bigger than it is, but that's kind of a general RPG thing. That's not really a big problem. But you see how quickly how quickly we turned from green fields to, oh, we're in the freaking mammoth graveyard from Lion King. Like, what the heck? It was like instant. I mean, maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's just how maybe that's how the blight works. Maybe it's just a line. But if they said it's continuously growing, I mean, they better move. It's close. Look at how close it is. If they walled it off, does that actually keep it out? Maybe. Maybe that's how the blight works. Yeah, maybe. Where's Pride Rock? What this?
What's this? Another relic of the fallen.
Nothing. Maybe a side quest later. Imagine if this was just like a little optional dungeon. But I doubt it's going to be that.
Magic here.
Another thing to worry about. As if the absence of ether didn't cause enough problems.
Take away the land's life force, and problems are all that's left.
Oh, we can't use magic. Interesting.
I can hardly imagine what this place used to look like before the Blight took it.
I remember. It was beautiful. There it is. Phoenix Gate. Where it all went wrong.
Come on, Clive. It's time to discover the truth.
And what a cool freaking character. Also, great wallpaper there. What a cool freaking character. She starts off as like a bubbly kid, but she's still kind of there for, like, she's still like a, you know, again, that scene where she's like, if you're not going to pray for yourself, I'll pray for you. So like, she's always been there for him, but now it's in a different way. Now it's in like a kind of forcing him to face the music kind of way. Pushing him on. It's cool. Again, it's believable. It's believable that even though she's grown up and is more stoic now and stuff, like, it's believable that that's the way she would act, because that's the way she acted when we were kids.
Lady Hannah has always been so kind to us. We should do something for her in return.
Well, I have 45 clamshells. Why don't we give her those? Or she can have some valley matter. I ain't got crap to do with it.
And what do you want? Go on, then.
So, literally everything you sell is useless now because of my automatic upgrade. You can have my longsword +1.
Make it quick.
And I'm guessing I can't upgrade any of this stuff. So yeah, I literally have no use for any of this now until they get new stuff. Didn't I get a new song?
Oh, nice cloak.
Wait, what's Gav got to say?
Where'd you get your fancy new clobber? And where can I get some?
Better after a hard day's work.
This is nice.
And so many uses.
Have you come for a tale? You wish to study the tomes?
You wish to study the tome? Bandits. The act of a dominant calling upon a part of their icon's power without fully transforming into the legendary beast itself. Does not require nearly as much aether as to fully prime, taking less of a toll on the dominant's flesh. Upon semi-priming, the host takes on some aspects of their icon, sprouting wings or becoming clad in stone. Though it is usually done deliberately, the dominant remaining in control of the icon even when primed, on occasion a dominant will lose control of their powers and see their icon run riot. I was kind of wondering, like, because that battle, the only time we've ever really seen an icon not run riot was when Shiva and Titan were fighting. That was the only time. Phoenix was completely out of control. Ifrit has been completely out of control both times. And Garuda was completely out of control. Only Shiva and Titan were in control at the time. Oh, and Ramu was in control. Forgot about that. The one time that he actually fully primed. How come the other god isn't in here? They're not a person of interest, are they? I don't think so. We don't know enough about him yet.
The door to the shelves shall ever be open.
We just don't have enough teams to follow every lead.
Well, that's all there is to do here. Now I could actually return and explore some areas now. In fact, there's a small chance that there could be like side quests hiding in old areas. I kind of doubt it, but it is at least cool that you can travel around. Not much point to it yet, but what if I go to here? I guess I was still on the same map, huh? Dim. That's where I just was, right? Well, it would show on the map if they were there, because the other ones did. Yeah, this is all the same, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I think they would show on the map if they were there, so there just aren't any. I could replay a mission if I wanted to, but nah, we'll keep going. I should replay the first mission with all my new stuff now. Just totally blast everything. How could people complain that the ATL is a sign of poor storytelling? Are you kidding me? What are people doing? It's like... It's that common problem of like, if we don't put it in, people will complain, but if we do put it in, then it's a sign of it being hard to understand. Like, no, they're putting it in there to help people understand it. It's not a sign of it being bad. The ATL is this, the thing that explains stuff that's going on at the moment. I understand what they're saying. They're saying that because this exists, the game must be really difficult to understand, which just means you didn't play the game, or you've never played a game like Dark Souls, Final Fantasy XV, Destiny, Doom, Doom Eternal, any game where there's a bunch of lore outside the game that makes it pretty hard to understand what's going on your first playthrough. They've never played a game like that. They've only played Crash Bandicoot, where Cash Banuka is on a rampage and Cortex is trying to stop him. But then Cash Banuka saves the day by defeating Cortex and saving his girlfriend. These are very simple to understand stories. Why can't every game be like that? That's what I get from that compliment, or from that comment. Like, give me a break, dude. The game has to be semi-complicated for it to be good. It has to, games like this, you might even have to play through twice to understand everything. Gasp. You can't just play through it once while skipping half of the dialogue and then understand exactly everything that happened. You might have to actually like use your brain and rewatch a couple cutscenes. And, you know, there's a little bit more lore to it. People just want a Netflix show where like everything's explained to them, or they can watch somebody explain it for them. They don't want to like actually think. That's what I get from that comment. But it's true. Like, as a game developer, it's got to be so frustrating because putting something in like this is going to give some people the interpretation that like, oh, it must be so complicated that they had to put this in. Like, no, this is all stuff that we know that's been explained in cutscenes. It's just re-explaining it in case you missed it, or in case you need a refresher. Every game should have this. Every game. It's a wonderful idea. It's a wonderful addition, especially given that it's optional. The internet will be the internet.
It's almost as if time had stood still.
I suppose no one had any cause to return here. No. It's just as I left it. Let's have a look around.
Man, so good. You can really tell he's struggling.
Could I have done this?
Could anyone?
Yeah, I mean, most games, like I said, like Doom Eternal has a ton of lore outside the game that they just expect you to read either online or read through like all the codex entry stuff. Here, I think they've done a pretty good job of having most stuff in the game. There are definitely some little details that you kind of have to look in the lore to figure out, but it's nothing that ruins the, like, you're not going to miss some really important detail by not reading the lore in the encyclopedia, at least so far. I keep using Doom Eternal as an example because, like, there's so many huge details I completely missed while playing Doom Eternal. And then I watched some YouTube video about the lore and I was like, wait, what? Like, there's so many huge things that you're like, what? How? Like, the entire history of, like, the Doom guy and the entire history behind, like, Samuel Hayden and who he was before he became a robot and everything. And it's like, yeah, is this the same game that I played, in Final Fantasy 15? Like, basically the entire, from what I remember, I have to play through the game again before I make this assumption, but from what I remember, I had no idea who the villain was or why he was important or why he was doing what he was doing until I read up on it afterwards. Like, the game didn't tell me enough about who the actual villain was. And, like, Souls games as well, although that's more of by design, but I think this game has done a great job of all of the really important things that matter have been told to us once or twice in cutscenes. And of course, being humans, we're going to miss that. We're going to miss here and there. We're going to miss little details here and there. So it's great to have a little thing to refresh our memories. That is not a sign of the game being bad at telling its story. If you want a game that's bad at telling its story, there's plenty of games out there. This is not one of them. There are plenty of games that tell their story super subtly that you kind of need something like that. This is not one of them. This game has been very outright with its story. To the point where I'm following it pretty well. So.
What is it, Torgal? Clive.
That's him.
Oh boy.
He's the only one who can tell me what happened. I have to know.
And I love the desperate nature of his voice when he said that.
Where is he?
Nowhere to be seen.
Damn it! He's like a bloody eel.
What is this place
What
anyway?
a weird,
Some sort of shrine.
weird metaphor, but okay.
Sorry. You've never been here before. This is the Hall of the Gate.
The gate.
It's a relic of the Fallen. Only the Phoenix's dominant can open it.
Hence the castle's name. This was where Joshua was supposed to...
Yes. He would have stepped through this door the next morning and listened to the words of our ancestors.
Would you have gone with him?
No. The apodatory is holy ground. None but the dominant may enter. I and the other shields would have stood guard here and prayed for my brother's safe return. Where the hell did he go?
Perhaps he went inside.
He couldn't have. He'd need the power of the Phoenix. Thank you, Joshua.
Are you sure about this?
Nevermore.
thought he was going to be like, no. I didn't even know I could open the door.
Another gate. Let's see if this one opens. Could this place really be a fallen ruin?
You could hardly call it a ruin. It's perfect. Like it was built yesterday.
Love this change of scenery. Haven't really seen anything like this yet. I mean, kind of the hideout, but not this epic.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
That's what I was saying. Read my mind.
Jill?
Yeah, we got to see this place in that battle, but only with the camera going crazy. Okay, so why would there be enemies in here? That's a little sus.
What do we do?
The usual.
Oh, yeah.
More trouble.
Boom. This guy's looking like Star Wars enemies. Little Star Wars robots.
How can these things still function?
How can any of this? This must be what the fallen ruins were like before they fell.
How's it going, Fried?
Let's make this quick.
Cool, hope you're enjoying it. I definitely am.
It's over. It's over.
It's over twice. It's twice as over.
Finished.
50 gil. Man, we're really moving up now. I must be playing on performance. Why do you say that? It really looks that much worse? That's kind of sad. Sad that even on the PS5 we have to have a setting to make it technically 4K. You know? Like we have to give up everything just for it to technically be 4K because they want to hit that buzzword. but who would want to play at 30 FPS just so it looks slightly better? At least for me, that's kind of silly. That's cool. 60 FPS is my buzzword, same. Oops. Wrong button.
My wounds, boy. Not this time.
Booyah.
Does any of this make sense to you?
None.
2 high
Find the
potions.
hooded man and leave.
That's what I get from that. Okay. Ooh. There's a thing. Increases gouge damage. I do use that a lot. Is that better than attack plus 7, though? Yes. I have 200 some attack. 7 ain't nothing. See you, Jolly.